People that are watching us live on the internet, good morning. And as always, it is good to stand before you on the Lord's Sabbath day. You know, I guess a lot of people are asking why, they've never seen me out of town 2 weekends in a row since the Israel of God been in existence. I'm not going to talk about it, but I had to say something came up. I had to go to New York City on a rescue mission. And I want to let you know it was extremely successful. Had I not felt that it was extremely important, there's nothing can drag me away from here 2 weeks in a row. So it lets you know how important it was. We're going to get right into this, sisters and brothers. This is a lesson that I put together, like everything else, long time ago. It's because, sometimes things happen to people, and a lot of times they happen because sometimes the way we behave, the way we talk, even with the expression on our face. And there are so many things that have to be covered until I just say, well, we won't have nothing in specific we're going to deal with it. I just decided to name this food for thought. Food for thought. Because sometimes it's good to have a look at ourselves and look around, and sometimes that will help us realize why some things happen to us. In other words, this is a lesson for us to examine ourselves. We're going to start this in Proverbs, the 6th chapter. And I want you to put a mark in Proverbs because we're going to be in and out of Proverbs all morning. Because a lot of good things in Proverbs, but don't nobody read it. You go there. Some people say, well, I go for a good feeling. Why don't you try going there for some information? A good feeling is good, but to know why you feel good is better. Proverbs, the 6th chapter, because it is good for you to know what the Lord like and don't like, what he will move on you for and what he will bless you for. It's good. Nothing big, but I think it's necessary. We're going to start at verse 16. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. Okay, read it.
These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him.
Now that's something you need to pay attention to. So these 6 things that the Lord hate. Hate is a strong emotion, ain't it? So and the seventh is abomination. Go ahead.
A proud look.
A proud look.
A lying tongue.
A lying tongue.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
And hands that shed innocent blood. That's why you don't ever hear me use the word. I use the word I'm pleased and well done, but you will never hear me say I am proud, because you don't have nothing to be proud of. When you look in your closet, you got so much dirt in there, you should be ashamed. But he said, easy hate. A proud look, a lying tongue, and one that sheds innocent blood. Go ahead and read.
And a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Feet that be swift and run into mischief.
And somebody always thinking about wicked stuff, coming up with some way to do something, and somebody's always running to trouble. Love trouble. Ooh, they got a fight down there. I'm going to run down and see. You ain't going down there to fix it. You're going down to look at the damage that's done. Every time somebody have a conversation contrary against somebody else, you don't go there to try and say you shouldn't do that. You go there to get you so you can get in on the juice information. He said, Lord, hate this kind of stuff. Go ahead and read.
A false witness that speaketh lies.
And somebody that lie on people. Go ahead.
And he that soweth discord among brethren.
And somebody's always creating division among sisters and brothers. Sisters, you know what I mean? The Lord said he hates that. He's even an abomination. He said the 7th even is an abomination. This is the one that sows discord. I said all the time, if your conversation cannot fix it, why have it? If your comment won't make it better, why verbalize it? But remember what the Lord hates. You make a note of that, and every time you start doing something, some drama come on, you read this, make sure you ain't doing whatever. And let's go into Proverbs, the 24th chapter. Because all this is some good stuff that we don't ever read. It's apparently, that's why I put it together years ago. Because when I looked at some of the things that the sisters and brothers was doing, some of the behavior that was being carried on, some of the conversation that was being carried on, and pointing the finger and accusation, I said, we need to go in here and have so people look at themselves. Because there's one thing about pointing the finger, sisters and brothers. I got 3 pointed at me and 1 pointed at God. So who are we blaming here? Think about it. Proverbs 24, we're going to start reading at verse 1. 24 and 1. Go ahead.
Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them.
Go ahead.
For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief.
He said, don't envy these people. A lot of people do. He said, don't envy them, because the Lord's going to deal with them. Skip down to verse 15. Verse 15, and go ahead.
Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place.
He said, don't be always laying to do something to the righteous. You wicked if you ain't wicked, but if you always laying to do something to somebody, always harboring your mind to hurt somebody, maybe you need to take a wicked check.
That's right.
He said, don't lay for him. Go ahead.
For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Ain't that something? If you just, the Lord didn't say you're not going to fall. He didn't say you're not going to have a hard time. But if you are just, He's going to always deliver you just before you be destroyed. That's why I tell people sometimes to get to plane. I say, you know, you got the food in your refrigerator? Yeah, I got food in my refrigeration. You live in the park? No, I don't live in the park. You got a car, a bus? Well, yeah, I got that. What you complaining about? I'm looking at you. I didn't ask you about your clothes because you ain't naked. What you complaining about? So you fall. You have some trouble. But the Lord keep picking you up. And let you know that you're a just person. Go ahead and read what verse?
Verse 17. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth.
And why is that? Go ahead and read.
Lest the Lord see it and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him.
Why is it that it's going to displease God? Somebody wicked doing something to you, and then the Lord take them down, and all of a sudden you have to rejoice. You just become wicked. I don't care who it is. No man or woman should savor in the damage or demise of anybody else. You know why? Because you don't want it to happen to you.
That's right.
So the Lord, I'm taking the wicked down. All of you righteous, you rejoicing because the wicked is being taken down. Now you have become wicked. Y'all understand what the Lord is trying to put here? He said, I'll fix you. I'm going to stop damaging. I'm going to let him stay. Why should he hurt the wicked for the wicked? It's all that simple. Leave it to the Lord. You be surprised. The Lord is still there. He's on the throne. People act like God ain't there. I got to take care of this myself. You ain't got to do nothing but get in trouble. Go ahead and read.
Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked.
He said, don't fret because they evil. Don't envy the wicked. Go ahead.
For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out.
All you got to do, a person's wicked and always doing evil stuff, one day you're going to look around and their spot is going to be empty. All you got to do is take care of you. Don't worry about trying to do somebody. Don't worry about getting upset because somebody, look at all these preachers with these mega churches. You know, sure, we're going to have one in a year. But look at all these preachers in mega churches, getting all the money with the planes and the children. Everybody got $1,000. I want them to have it all, sisters and brothers. I want them to enjoy. Because that's a small price to burn in hell for eternity. Y'all understand me? Small price. See, we don't think. You look at, boy, look at it good. You know, boy, why don't you have? I ain't worried about that. I got everything I want. I got the roadmap to immortality. That's all I'm looking for. And that should be what you're looking for. Anything else? You're fooling yourself. Go ahead and read.
That was verse 20. Verse 21. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change.
He said, fear the Lord. Now don't fool around with them that are given to change. You like all these brothers running around with these, these lost books. And they given the change. Well, you see, I said in the book of Joshua, and I said in the book of Enoch. Then you look around, you don't see them no more. You know why? Because they're given the change. Now they lost with the book.
That's right.
Think about it. The Lord he have knowledge of what we need. He have knowledge of what we need. He's going to give you everything you want. Let's back up to the 22nd chapter of Proverbs. See, sometimes we need to look at this, and maybe some of us will straighten out lousy attitude. Because you get people sometimes that just can't sit down, even when you deal with, you can't take instruction. They think it's fashionable to show some kind of rebellion. I just got to have my input. Who needs it? Like I'm sitting one time and I'm teaching somebody. He got this brother here, been in the Word for about 3 weeks. He gonna jump in and help me. What can you add to my conversation? Why? Because he just had to have an input. That you know I'm here. No, it's irrelevant whether you're here or not. The thing is the Word. We're going to start at verse 24. Proverbs 22 and verse 24. 22 and verse 24. Okay, go ahead.
Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou should not go.
Look, you see a man always mad all the time. A person always mad, always taking issue here, attitude all to the Lord. So don't make no friend with that person. Why is that? Go ahead and read.
Lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul.
Because then you're going to start to behave like him. And then you're going to be snared by it. I don't like a person that's around me that's negative all the time. Negative, negative, negative. They don't have something that's negative to say about people. Negative about the situation. Everything he says is negative.
That's right.
I just leave. Because when you're negative all the time, you're making enemies. I say, hey, make enemies by accident, not on purpose. So don't hang out, because if you keep complaining, sooner or later you find yourself doing the same thing. Go ahead and read.
Be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are surety for debts.
In other words, don't be one too that's always making debt, or either tell somebody, well, I'm going to back you, or either I'm going to co-sign for you. You know why? Because this might happen to you. Verse 29.
Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before a king.
Now let's back up and read. What verse was that?
That was verse 26.
So read 27. This is why you don't give out, you don't jump up there. People, well, I'll back it, or either you quick to make debt. Remember this. Go ahead and read.
If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee?
So if you don't have no money and you don't figure out how to deal with it, don't make debt unless you have to. And don't back nobody if you ain't got no money. You know why? Because they're going to come and get you. It's all that simple. The Bible tells you everything. Look what it said about a man, that's a woman too, that take care of their business. Verse 29, go ahead.
Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men.
And that's the whole thing. When you take care of your business, you can stand anywhere. You ain't got the bill collectors running around. You don't have to worry about it. You want to get something, they're going to check your credit record. I mean, you couldn't get nothing for the next 50 years. Your business is a shambles. Your house and everything is in trouble. Why? Because you didn't take care of your business.
Right.
If you are earning enough to buy it, then you should earn enough to keep it. It's just like one thing, sisters and brothers, I say to brothers all the time, you're going to go buy the house, don't buy the house with the intention that you and your wife can pay for it. What happened if something happened? What if she died? Well, she gets mad, so I ain't coming back no more. Now you're going to lose the house. So if you can't afford a house without having your spouse to pay for it, brother, get a cheaper house. Because you're a diligent person. But then you got to be diligent. You got to be prepared to go out and do what you got to do. See, people always going to talk about the world tomorrow, and I talks about the world tomorrow, but we got to get here we got to live till tomorrow get here.
That's right.
Hey, brothers all the time, well, I ain't do this. I remember a long time ago, some brothers came to the Israeli God and we was in the storefront. Children taken out of school. I jumped them. Well, the Lord going to be here. Now the children are grown and their children got grown. The ones that went back to school, some of them went on to college. I felt so good. And their children done well. The ones that didn't, they're off on welfare somewhere. Why? Because the Lord didn't come.
That's right.
Nobody took care of their business, sisters and brothers. Back up to 21. Proverbs 21. We're going to look at some of these things. And before the lesson over, we're going to find out some stuff that we didn't ever think about. Proverbs 21, and we're going to read two verses, verse 25 and 26. Proverbs 21, verse 25 and 26. Why you pick verses like Proverbs? Because in one chapter, Solomon talks about a whole lot of things. The man was so wise, his mind was so broad, that the Lord just filled this man here. He talked about so many things. You can go through a chapter and talk about at least 20 or 30 subjects. So that's why we have to go through there and get some. Verse 25, go ahead.
The desire of the slothful killeth him.
You know what slothful means? Lazy. The desire of the sloth, the lazy killing him, go ahead.
For his hands refuse to labor.
Because he refused to work. So you got all this desire, you won't work, you ain't got no money. Then you look at everybody. He think he's something because he got a car. He is something. He's somebody that's riding and you walking.
That's right.
Go ahead and read.
He coveted greedily all the day long, but the righteous giveth and spared not.
So all this lazy man do all day, he coveted everything that everybody has. But the man that goes out and work, he take care of himself, and he has something to help other people with. So the Lord had this put in here, so you will understand what's got to happen. Put your finger here. In Proverbs, he's coming right back. Let's go into 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter. Because every time somebody don't work, they ain't got nothing coming, you covered in everything. Every time somebody has something, you done found something wrong with it. And you disliking people. You go out and you work hard and come up with something, now you something. Yeah, you somebody that's got something to eat with it. 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to start at verse 8. 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter, and verse 7. We're going to start at verse 7. 2 Thessalonians 3 and 7. 3 and 7. Okay, read it.
For yourselves know how you ought to follow us. For we behaved not ourselves disorderly among you. Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught.
He said, look, this is Paul telling these people, look, y'all have to observe our observation. We was orderly among you. We didn't eat nobody's bread for nothing. Go ahead and read.
But wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to any of you.
And so, but we worked and we labored night and day. So nobody would be saying, yeah, they here, yeah, they preach the gospel, but they're sure enough a burden. I wish they'd preach and move on. There ain't no labor to you. Skip down to verse 10. Verse 10 and go ahead.
For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
That's clear, ain't it? I say it all the time. Every time somebody gets something for nothing, somebody else have been robbed. It's all that simple. If you have your help, and the Lord's given you a good mind, that means you ain't crazy. That don't mean you have to be the smartest thing, because everything smart is relative. This is what people don't understand. Smart is relative. I might be able to do heart surgery, but I can't fix a truck. You understand? It's all relative. So if a man don't eat, well, he should not eat. Now let's go back to Proverbs, the 26th chapter. When we say, sister and brother, bond, that's something that you can't help. That don't mean, well, hey, you don't work, you don't eat, person don't have no feet, no leg. You understand? You roll off in your chair and starve in the corner. No, the helpless, the Bible tells you to help. Because that's what charity is, sisters and brothers. But it's telling you, it's talking about the people that have the capability and is able. Proverbs Proverbs 26, and we're going to start reading at verse 12. 26 and verse 12. We're going to cover a few things here, because these things, like I said, are food for thought. Just make you think a little bit. Go ahead and read.
Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him.
Now that's somebody that think he's the only one got sense. You understand? He don't listen to nobody. And then when he listens while you talking to him, he's not listening to learn. He's waiting for a break so he can jump in and give his opinion. He says there's more hope than a fool for a fool in him. Because if you think you wise in your own mind, you got your problem, sisters and brothers. It is all that simple. Because you think that you're the only one that's got sense. Go ahead and read.
The slothful man said, there is a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets. As a door turneth upon his
hinges. Look what he said. There's a lion in the streets. See, you got your own reasoning. You understand? You're wise in your own conceit. So now, if a lion's in the streets, I can't go out there and work because I'm going to get eaten by the lion, even though people go and do and for in the street. Go ahead and read.
As a door turneth upon his hinges, so does the slothful upon his bed.
Ain't that so? You in the bed, you turn, you sleep here, and you turn, but you don't get up and do no work. Go ahead and read.
The slothful hideth his hand in his bosom. It grieveth him to bring it again to his mouth.
Ain't that something? These are lazy people. In other words, you ain't gonna do nothing. Go ahead.
The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than
that's still lazy. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit. Go ahead and read.
Than 7 men that can render a reason.
And 7 men out there can reason and they got things going for them. That's why I hear people ain't got nothing going, but you accuse him. Look here, you think he's something. Oh, that old call on me. Oh, he got that old job. That old job don't mean nothing. But you sitting out here and you ain't, and then you gonna turn around and say, can you owe me $2? Because you're lazy and you don't have nothing coming to you. Now you're gonna blame everybody else for the blessing that the Lord's given them because of the labor of their hands. See, these we need to look at because you got a lot of this. I see people that criticizes everybody. I just looks at it. Let's go to Proverbs, the 24th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 30. Proverbs 24 and 30. Because you can tell a lazy person, the evidence punch him out. You don't have to walk up, do you work? You just watch him long enough, you see. I see people, sometimes sisters and brothers. Ain't so much as this brother, but a sister hook up with a brother. Cat ain't working when you met him. Now you hook up with him and he don't take care of business. He ain't bringing no groceries, no rent, no nothing. You got to pay everything. Now you mad at him. He ain't the problem. He was what he was when you found him. You the problem. It's all that simple. I'm mad because the ground was there when I jumped off the building. It was there before you jumped. This is what I'm saying. What did he say? He's telling you to reason. To reason. Verse 30. Go ahead.
I went by the field of the slothful and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding.
Yeah, he went by the field of the lazy and the vineyard of the man of understanding. What happened?
And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof. And the stone wall thereof was broken down.
So he was lazy and didn't have no understanding. His field was grown up with weeds, the wall broken down that protected. Go ahead and read.
Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction.
He said, I looked upon the condition of a lazy man and I was informed. You understand? It's like I tell people all the time, you can learn something from everybody. I can't learn nothing from the winehead that's laying in the gutter, slobbing all over himself. Yeah, you can. You can go ask him, how did you come here? And he tell you how he got there, and you don't do that. You just learn something. Everything is a teacher, sisters and brothers. everything. So he said, I looked at it, and once I saw the condition, I was instructed. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and read.
Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man.
Ain't that something? He said, I learned that. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hand and doing nothing. He said, your poverty going to come upon you and your wants like an armed man. Mm-hmm. And you can't do nothing.
Right.
Because you didn't make no preparation.
That is right.
To think about it. Think about it.
That's right.
I talked to a brother out in the streets. Well, man, I ain't got no job. I said, why don't you get in school? Oh, that take too long. I said, then you're going to have a job. Ain't going to have no job the rest of your life. If you get started in school, it might be too long, but once you finish, then you will get your first step to feeding yourself.
That's right.
Because as long as you say, well, it's too hard, your condition is going to be the same. Sooner or later, you got to come to us and look, I'm going to deal with this thing. And that was Solomon's take on the lazy person. So sometime when you ain't nothing going right for you, have a look at yourself. Maybe I'm broke because I don't work. Or maybe I work and I don't have nothing. It's because I'm living beyond my financial needs. I cannot live. I make $30,000 a year. I cannot live like the person that makes $100,000 a year. It's all that simple. You driving a Mercedes-Benz, and I'm driving a Ford Sparrow or something. You think you something. You got a Mercedes-Benz. I am. I'm the one in the Mercedes-Benz. In other words, sisters and brothers, the Lord just had Solomon put there to tell you about this thing. Also, a little bit about women in marriage. We're just going to do a little bit. Let's go into Proverbs the 18th chapter to start it off. No, we ain't going to get deep, sisters and brothers. I ain't going there. I'm just going to read a few things. Y'all getting all set. Now, this is something to a brother. I mean, a brother should really consider what's going on. We're going to read one verse to get this started. Proverbs 18 and verse 22. Verse 22. 18 and 22. Believe me, we ain't going to go to the wall with this. Verse 22, go ahead.
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
And that is correct. But that's finding the wife.
That's right.
You can marry somebody, but that don't necessarily mean you done found a wife.
That's right.
Because if it's favor from the Lord, she's going to do good to you all her life, whatever. Because the Lord don't send nothing tainted to nobody. But let's carry it a little further. You girls, y'all done had your glory. I'm going to put a little sweat on you now. Proverbs 31. But I look at brothers sometimes. My old lady, she don't love me enough. Just sit around and she go to work and she don't have no. I said, look here, man. She come home every day, yeah. Do she cook? Yeah. She wash her clothes? Yeah. And she work too? Yeah. What you complaining about? It's all that simple. What you complaining about? Have you had brothers that actually went crazy? Someone like, yeah, man, I couldn't deal with her because she didn't show enough love. But she did everything you needed her to do. Everything. So what's your problem? Somebody been watching too many love stories. Everything is sweet because the one that wrote the story wrote sweet in it. That's what I was telling a young brother on the phone, on the fence out there. I was talking to him. So let me tell you something, son. I said, y'all watch all them gangster movies. I said, them guys get shot all down. I said, I want to tell you a big secret about a gangster movie. The one that make it, he gets up and go home to his house. But when you shoot somebody in the street, you don't get up and go to nobody's house. I said, I want you young brothers to understand that. It is a movie. When you shoot or get shot, that is reality. You do not go home, pick up your paycheck. Proverbs 31 and verse 10. Verse 10. Go ahead.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
Ain't that something? That is a virtuous woman. Her husband trusts her. So she's more than rubies. Can't nothing replace a good spouse. You understand what I'm saying? That's if you got sense. Because remember, this body have 2 feet, 2 shoes here, one left and one right. So which one are you? Go ahead and read.
She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax.
So she gonna do him good and not evil all the days of her life. You know something? I tell people sometimes, things can happen. But you see, sometimes men and women break up. Lord don't want you to ever break up. But if it should happen, then you get the woman. I hate him. I hate her. And you're always trying to do things that's ugly to them. Saying ugly things to your children about them. Wait a minute. That's not your children's battle. This fight is not with them. Why? And why you hate them? If you love them, if you didn't love them, then you got what you want. He gone. Why you hating him for doing something you want him to do? I know you want him to do it because you fighting and arguing with him every day. And vice versa. Why you hating on one another? What's done is done. We want to live according to the Word of God every aspect of this life. However, sometimes things happen. And it happened. I fell out of the car on the expressway. Since I fell, I'm going to sit here. Sooner or later, you're going to get ran over.
That's right.
You fall out of the car, you can't reverse that. At least get up and move. In other words, sometimes things happen, sisters and brothers. Skip down to verse 25. Verse 25, and go ahead.
Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come.
Go ahead.
She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness.
Now the whole thing is that she carries herself honorable. And she ain't talking a bunch of foolishness all the time. And she always kind. This is why I can't understand, sisters and brothers. Women can be so sweet to a man when they just kicking it together. Time it happened, something else happened. Same thing with a man with a woman. He's so sweet, he's so nice, he's a gentleman. Open the door. Oh, don't open that door. Let me open that car door. You married a couple weeks later, she's standing out there in the rain and everything else. You done got in the car and you looking. Ain't you gonna get in? What happened? Then you wonder why stuff gets sour. You used to kiss her when you go home. Oh, don't do that no more. You understand? And you wonder what happened. Sometimes you check your behavior. Oh, you were so nice when we got together. Yes, and so was you. Think about it. What verse?
Verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness.
And she take care of her household. You don't go out and spend all the money. Don't sit around and figure out here when he get home, you got to entertain me. Wait a minute. You got to entertain yourself. Come up and do something. You don't like sitting around the house, get a job. Go ahead.
Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praised her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain.
And that's one thing you got to remember. Favor is deceitful. You understand? When you're always getting favor, sometime when it stops, what's going to happen? And beauty is vain. Oh, I love you, baby. You look so good. 20, 30 years later, when the wrinkles start to show up, the hair get... What happened to that love? Well, you know. I'm telling you right now, this woman that you married, she might be ever so beautiful, but sooner or later she's going to get old and wrinkled. Will you love her then? It's got to go beyond eyesight, sisters and brothers. You understand what I'm saying? That's why Solomon tell you it's vain. She had to have something or you wouldn't be married to her. However, whatever it was, if you look in the mirror, you deteriorating too.
That's right.
Well, baby, you know, that hair's kind of gray. You've been over, yeah, baby, and you know your stomach's so big you can't see your shoes. So what you gonna do? You gonna compromise and leave it alone. I see it all the time. Oh man, my old lady ain't what she used to be, and I'm looking at him. Baby, I can't fix it. I don't say nothing. Next verse, go ahead. Don't forget where you are, man. I want to find you.
30. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised.
That's the whole thing. This woman fear the Lord, she should be praised. If the old man don't praise him, then he got a problem. It's a good thing to have your spouse in the word with you. A lot of brothers and sisters don't have that. So you just let you know that the Lord is on your side. You got your spouse sitting next to you. They should be praised. Go ahead.
Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates.
So the whole thing is, if your woman is virtuous, she do well by you, her works going to praise her. Because she is going to prosper, and your whole household going to prosper. Because this is what people don't understand. Once you get married, it is not mine and yours anymore. It is ours. Now, if I'm married to a woman, well, you know what? You spend $20, I'll pay you back. Why are you going to pay me back? The money is mine anyway. Because what's thine is mine. And that's the way it is. And you got to think like that. When you think like that, you'd be surprised at arguments that you don't have. Let's look at a foolish woman now. Proverbs, the 9th chapter. That's why I say everybody can find fault. The best thing you do is you fix yourself and you live. And try to do what God wants you to do. Everything else will fall in place. You said, like, that's all this guy told me, yeah, man, my old lady got upset, man, I knocked her teeth out. I said, now you got a dental bill, and you got to look at a woman with scars all over her. Boy, you were really smart. You understand? Plus again, too, you're going to have a problem sleeping because you never know when she's going to ball them grits and put on you. Best thing for you to do is leave it alone. It's all that simple. You'd be surprised at the stuff that you don't have to suffer if you just think a little bit. Verse 13. We're going to start at verse 13. Go ahead.
A foolish woman is clamorous.
That means loud, talk a lot, always got a lot to say. Always have an argument about everything. Go ahead.
She is simple and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the high places of the city.
Go ahead.
To call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. That's
what it says, sitting up and call, and getting involved with other people. Whoso is simple. In other words, if you stupid, turn in here. Go ahead and read.
And as for him that wanteth understanding, she said to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
And as for him that wanted, that mean that lack understanding, she said, stolen waters are sweet. Anything that's stolen belongs to somebody else. You understand? If it don't belong to nobody else, then you ain't stealing nothing. Look at the results of this. They ain't done in secret. Go ahead and read.
But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that our guests are in the depths of hell.
That's the whole thing, sisters and brothers. Somebody said, stolen water. Does that mean that you're going to fool around with somebody else's? And you're on your way directly to the lake of fire. Because the Lord said something, sisters and brothers, you need to pay attention. However good she is, if she belongs to somebody, you can't have her. If you do, you steal it. Thieves get cut off among man and God. Back up to Proverbs the 6th chapter. Proverbs the 6th chapter, and we're going to start reading at verse 23. 6 and 23. That's why I said one that lacks understanding. In other words, brother, that ain't got no understanding. Man of God, there are certain lines that he simply don't cross. When Paul said all things are lawful to me, he meant that. He said, but all things are not expedient. He knows what's good. I know every line that I can cross and a line that I can't cross. I'm talking about to keep from getting in trouble with God. But you have to know that too. And if you don't know that, you ain't where you're supposed to be. Verse 23, go ahead.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of a tongue of a strange woman.
Now the commandments are there to keep you from falling in the hole that you shouldn't. Thou shalt not. And don't get all flattered. Oh, brother, boy, you know, you're all right. You know, you're good looking. I'm looking at me. I got my hair missing. It's great. Got no jaw teeth. And you tell me I'm good looking? Come on, baby. Don't do it on the Sabbath day because you lying. But you get the old cats go for that kind of stuff. Wow. You understand? You ain't fooling nobody.
Wow.
I'm just rolling with it. What verse?
Verse 25. Lust not after a beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
Yeah.
For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
And that's what's going on. You have to look at this. The Lord put this here because he wants you to know this. Man, she good looking. She just, hey, but she is off limits. If she is off limits, then why are you tempted? I don't get tempted by something that I can't have, according to the word of God. You understand? If the Lord says I can't have it, I can't have it. Go ahead.
27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned?
Nope, go ahead.
So he goeth in to his neighbor's wife. Whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent.
So I don't care what you do, what your reasoning is, you are not innocent. And the Lord going to deal with you at the end of the line. I don't care what kind of, well, you know, my old man beat me. Hey.
Leave.
You know, he didn't bring home no money. Hey. I don't care what he didn't do. I know one thing. I ain't going to touch you because you're still here. See, people like to rationalize, well, you see, he wasn't no good. Yeah, but he was husband. You don't come to me and get, well, he beat me, I want you to compliment. No, you ain't taking my life. In other words, sisters and brothers, there's certain things that you just don't have the latitude to deal with. And anybody deal with it, he or she is in trouble. Skip down to, what was that, verse 29?
That was verse 29.
Skip down to verse 32. Verse 32, and go ahead.
But whoso committeth adultery with the woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
See, a man of understanding knows what adultery is and what adultery is not. And if you think you can commit adultery and get away with it with the Lord, you lack understanding. It's all that simple. A lot of people have misconceptions of what adultery is, and I don't even tell them, because if I do, it might get bad. But if a man commit adultery, he lacks understanding. I don't care if you can quote the book backwards and forward, up and down. Go ahead.
A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away.
That's a big statement, ain't it?
That's right.
That's a real big statement. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. That's a great big word. Shall not be. Who wants to go there? It can't be a person of understanding. I don't want no mark on me that I can't wash off. That's a mark, sisters and brothers. Just don't go there. But the Lord put this here because he wanted to put something on your mind. Let's go into 1 Corinthians. Keep your mark here. We're coming back. Because Solomon, that's why he's the wisest man in the world. This cat had a mouthful. 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. Because the Lord had all this written that we might be edified. Because he created this man, and the only way for this man to know what right is and wrong is, he have to teach him. But once you learn, then you are responsible. There is no excuse. There is no excuse for crossing certain lines. I don't even want to hear about it. Well, man, I don't want to hear about it. I got to talk to somebody, look in the mirror and talk to you. You're the one that need to be talked to. Because if you didn't need to be talked to, then you wouldn't have done it. 6 and verse 15. We're going to take a look at something here. That's going to clear up a lot of stuff that people are always asking me. Well, you're going to find out today. Verse 15, go ahead.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot? God forbid.
How can you do that? We're going to see how. Go ahead.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh.
Put your finger here. Put your finger here. We're coming right back here. Let's go into Genesis, the 7th chapter.
I'd like to invite you to join us on the Sabbath Day Live via the internet. Log on to our website, which is www.theisraelofgod.com. Click on the link Sabbath Day Live on our homepage. You will need Windows Media Player to view our program. We stream live twice every Sabbath at 10 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Central Time. If you enjoy our program, we would appreciate your donations to help defer the cost of continuing this work. Send donations to the Israel of God, 2515 East 75th Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60649. Also, if you're in the Chicago area, please feel free to join us at our study class located at 2515 East 75th Street here in Chicago.
Said I